Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to the car. Ever since I started answering these career advice questions, I keep getting more career advice questions. So, welcome to another episode of Post Workout Career Advice with me. And today we have a question from Akarin, who writes in I'm currently working as a full stack web developer in a really small entrepreneurship and being paid almost pennies in comparison to the market salaries. And at the same time, I'm studying computer science in a local university. Honestly, I find myself learning a ton while working, quite more than I ever expected to, while my studies are, well, not working out as well. I get easily bored and uninterested. Now, here is my dilemma. I don't know what to do. Should I just focus on my education and disregard working until I get a solid base? Should I do the opposite, maybe quit my job and find myself a better one? I had like 4 interviews recently, but they didn't work out, and it feels like my lack of experience and academic knowledge is getting in the way. I've been stuck in this cycle for a long time now. Don't know what I should do or what the consequences would be for my career's future. Anyways, love them videos. Have a good one. All right. Glad you love them videos, Akaran. I will have a good one. So, this question reminds me of my own youth. I was in high school when I got my first real programming job, and it was like infinitely more interesting than school. So I just ended up leaving school forever. Um, and I think this is pretty common thing that happens when you get the first taste of a real job in a field that you're interested in, and it's just so much more interesting than school, right? Uh, and yeah, I mean, leaving school worked out fine for me. Um, but it's definitely a road less traveled, and there are not nearly as many guides on that road. So I will say that if you do choose to leave school and pursue a career at this point, then um, just be aware that nobody's going to teach you the basics. Nobody's going to force the basics on you anymore, right? Like the foundational stuff in computer science. So if you want to build a strong foundation for yourself, you have to actually like sit down and teach yourself data structures, algorithms, and stuff like that. Because, nobody's going to make you do it. And those things don't generally come up in entry level work very much, just because of the nature of entry level work. So it will probably be a while until you would get to engage with those things in a career. I mean, at a job. Um, but I think it is very positive that you find your work so interesting and that it's teaching you so much, and it makes me happy that you've found a way to engage with programming in a way that you find interesting, that makes you happy, right? It is concerning that you've applied to 4 jobs and it didn't work out. And either that's because you're applying to jobs that you're not qualified for, um, and you could apply to other jobs and have more success, or it's just because you're, as you say, like your experience and academic knowledge, or you know, foundational knowledge is not where it needs to be, really for most jobs. And I think if you're not at a place where you can like easily get jobs, then leaving school is quite risky, right? You want to start considering that kind of thing if you can easily line up jobs for yourself, um, especially if you're not like living at home with your parents or whatever, but you're like out there on your own. Um, that's something. So I think in your case, it might be wise to stick around and learn enough stuff until you can get jobs for yourself more easily. Um, but it's not necessarily that you don't necessarily have to learn this from school, right? Like I just think um, that you need to build up your skills until you become a bit more mobile in the job market. Um, because it's not very nice to be stuck at a job and like not have the option of leaving. Um, I mean, it's better than not having any income at all, but it's also like a very stressful place to be, to have a job where you feel like, if they let me go, then I'm screwed, right? Like you want to always, you want to get to a place where you feel like you always have options, even if it requires some amount of work from you to exercise those options. You still want to feel like they exist. So for that reason, I would encourage you to, yeah, build up a stronger base until you are a bit more mobile in the job market. And this is something that you have to, feel out for yourself and discover sort of what your mobility is. And the only way to do that is to keep applying to jobs and maybe adjusting what kind of jobs you apply to. For me personally, when I was young, I had some real stinker jobs in the in the programming field. I worked with some really low-paying, sketchy small business clients that had some very sleazy business ideas and stuff, but they wanted web pages for their sleazy businesses, and I was not gonna turn down cash for that. So uh, I think at that, I mean, at all experience is experience, and as long as you're learning stuff, that's good. Um, and I don't think that like having a paper from any particular institution is more valuable than just being able to program really well. Like if you learn to program really well, it doesn't matter what your resume looks like. I've gotten quite good jobs myself just by being able to program, um, and it's it's like programming is one of those fields where if you can talk the talk, I mean, wait, what's the thing? If you can walk the walk, then it doesn't matter what your resume looks like. That would never work for like a doctor or something like that, or a lawyer, but because you need credentials, right? Like, but in our field, if you can do the thing, then you can get a job. So you just got to get better at doing the thing. Um, and you got to probe regularly to figure out if you're good enough yet. And you do that by applying for jobs. I'm not saying like apply for jobs every week, but like regularly, like at least do a job a month if you have ambitions to leave school, and get serious about studying foundational CS on your own, right? Because the moment you leave school, like all of that force feeding of computer science in your life is gone, right, forever, and you're on your own now. So might as well get into the habit of enjoying to study that by yourself. And as I like to tell everybody, participate in open source, man. That's certainly one way that you can build a lot of skills very quickly. That is not, and it's not a job and it's not your school. It's like a completely third option. Um, and it's not going to pay you anything, but I would say it's probably the best way to learn and the fastest way to learn. If you participate in serious open source projects, like very active, big ones, um, then I would definitely recommend that. Anyway, I feel like I'm all over the place here, but really, really, yeah, like it's a perfectly fine decision to leave schooling and pursue working. Just my recommendation is to only leave once you feel mobile and like you have options, right? You don't want to become married to one job and completely stuck there. unable to move. If they start like acting weird or doing something you don't agree with, you want to be able to leave. 'Cause it's like it's very mentally taxing to be stuck in a situation where you feel like you can't leave if you want to. But yeah, just keep improving your skills. My recommendation is work on open source projects, and you're gonna be fine whatever you choose. And if you choose to stay in school, that's fine too. Um, but it sounds to me like you kind of already know that you don't want to stay, and you're just trying to figure out like what is the path forward. So, but I don't know. Ultimately, that's up to you. But I think you're gonna be okay. So, good luck with everything, and let us know what happens. All right. So I guess that's my thoughts on that. So thank you, Akaran, for writing in, and thanks everybody else for tuning into the Post-Workout Career Advice Show. And I will see you all next time. And, keep sending me career advice questions if you want, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. All right. See you next time.